really good example of how the media works, and I wanted to go over it with all of you guys. So here's a typical media website. I've been to this website a few times, and I haven't really used them very much for stories because it's not very often that they put out anything that I want to cover. Until today, one of their employees decided to use the recent Cosby event to try to cancel someone. So I thought it would be a good example to show you guys what's going on here. So it has to do with Earthworm Jim, and that's going to be a game that's on the Intellivision Amico. You can see they just published an article about this thing the other day. And the writer decided to take to Twitter, and he's replying right here to Philip Lewis, another blue check mark, who doesn't have anything to do with this current event, I want to point out. This is a man going over, what happened with Cosby, which I'm going to talk about on Saturday. I'm going to talk about that on Saturday because there's a lot to unpack with that. But what he's doing is jumping on that to try to cancel Doug TenNapel, who created Earthworm Jim. And what he's trying to do here is tag in Tommy Tallarico, the guy who owns the rights to Intellivision and Earthworm Jim, and he wants Doug immediately canceled from the game. Listen to this. Whenever people make a case for enjoying stuff made in the past by disgraced artists, actors, I will point to the system that protects them by and large because they were once beloved. This is peak creeps protecting creeps, money protecting money. Related, for my gaming followers, Tommy Tallarico has chosen to ally with outspoken hate-monger Doug TenNapel to revive the once-beloved Earthworm Jim, and got DT to sign promotional Amico materials as recently as this month. Thus, as far as I'm concerned, DT is related to Amico. Now, what I like is Tommy has never bent the knee to all of the people that have been trying to cancel him over and Doug over this game. He just gives like a political answer. He gives like a politician's answer, and he gives another one to this. Regardless if you like anybody involved with that game or not, I think comparing that's a pretty far reach to compare Doug TenNapel to Bill Cosby. Okay. Now, Doug likes to speak his mind for sure. Absolutely. But, this really shows the side, like the political side. So Doug is very, very Republican. I would say Sam here is very far left Democrat. Okay. So you have this case of two people that don't agree on something, but the problem is Sam has media power and institutional power, which he's wielding right now to try to get the man canceled off of a project that he's just, from what I understand, consulting on. There was a deal, so he's just consulting, and he gets to make comic books, which is what he does. He's put out like 2 Earthworm Jim independent comics, which are both very good, by the way. But anyway, he responds here, until TT replies line by line to each of these articles, Doug TenNapel quotes and explains how that perspective is justified and how that fits Amico's family-friendly pitch to buyers and investors. He's lying in that bed and should be judged as such. And then I think people were jumping on him for, being for Ars. What's the name of that website? Ars Technica. My work at Ars largely revolves around sticking to technical stuff. And until Amico reaches the market that makes sense to some extent, but since I began digging into Amico, reading about DT has been deeply disturbing. I've thrown my Earthworm Jim toys in the trash. I'll live without them. And then, of course, Tommy's followers come in and start saying, listen, man, what's your deal, dude? And it's true. So I pulled up that article, and it's got a lot of very opinionated posts by Doug Tenable, but he's always kind of been like that. And here's the thing, you would have to seek it out to see it. And no matter what he has to say, and I would say calling it istophobic is kind of a stretch. He gives opinions on BLM and a few other things. And, you know, this reminds me a lot of in some ways, the Gina Carano stuff. It's like, okay, well, you're not allowed to say anything that's anti-establishment, or they come after you and they try to cancel you. And this is a really good case of someone who's been canceled and how you're not allowed to ever eat again. So no matter what he does, they're always going to come after him because you're not allowed to live or exist once you get canceled. They want to keep food off of your plate, and they want you homeless, theoretically. I mean, the man is just consulting in the game, but now, you know, Tommy Tellerico has to answer for things he said. And the nice thing about it is Tommy doesn't bend down to these people. From what I understand, Doug's been on this game since inception and is not going anywhere. So I like that Tommy doesn't bend the knee to the mob. But look what he did here. Jumps on a Bill Cosby thread to come on here and try to get Doug canceled off of a game. And I think that that's pretty shady. And I think that that's bullshit. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments below. Also, if you would, please like, subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that and subscribe if you're new.